Happening right now on Denver 7, we are awaiting a big revelation today that could tell us a lot more about that police shooting in Lodo that ended up injuring 6 bystanders.
Former President Trump's hold on the Republican Party faces its biggest test yet.
We are standing up against evil. Liz Cheney is standing up against evil.
Liz, you're fired. Get out of here.
The primary election the entire country will be watching today.
And it's a move to save energy, but it would definitely leave you sweating through the summer. The ban, one country is now placing on how low you can set your air conditioning. And yeah, wow, when you see the number, it's
might
interesting,
be better off with floor fans at that rate. We are getting a little bit of a break from the high heat. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. I actually turned up the heat a little in the car. It was a little cool out there. You might still notice some wet roads on your way into work. Of course, it's a lot calmer to the day, start to the day than what we saw yesterday as we take a look from our city camera. But yesterday afternoon, quite an interesting drive to school. This was the scene heading to my kids' school south of Denver. Some street flooding, a lot of water coming up on the windshields, and a long line in car pickup to get to the kids.
I was running out in that rain. Take a look at this. 2 people in southeast Denver couldn't get through parts of Rosamond Park because of flooding on the walking paths. And it wasn't just people walking stuck in the rain. Cars, too. Quincy Avenue and Parker Road in Aurora was closed for more than an hour after flooding, and then multiple accidents as well that made the road undrivable.
All right, so meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo is tracking some showers today, not as severe as yesterday's, Lisa?
No, on the way to gymnastics, I stopped twice in parking lots just to ride it out. Yeah, it got way too dangerous at times, and we're still going to see a few showers this morning, very light. I had a little drizzle on my way into work this morning. Quite a bit of cloud cover out there. We'll get a few more scattered storms and showers, but the risk of flooding for us here in town is going to be a lot lower. You can see some of the rain still moving across parts of eastern and southeastern Colorado this morning. Here's where the flood watches are today. Those flash flood watches down just to the south and west of Colorado Springs, but here in town we're seeing a lot less of that today. Quite a bit of cloud cover. It is going to be a lot cooler today. Low to mid 60s right now. Pretty mild early on. You're going to find 60s through the morning. We'll get to near 70 degrees here by about lunchtime. Low 70s early on, and then highs today right around 75 to near 77 in town. You're going to find some areas, Jason, only in the 60s. Castle Rock, Parker, pretty cool this afternoon.
Looks pretty nice. We do have a wet drive for you right now, and you'll see those wet conditions on the 4 cameras that I have set up for you here around town. So it depends on where you're going. You're going to find that annoyance a little bit where it gets a little bit splashy. I saw a little bit of rain, fresh rain coming down this morning, but that was at 3 o'clock in the morning driving in. So it's going to be not really a big deal for you, just a little annoying. Take a look at the drive overall. You'll see a lot of green out there on the map. We do have one crash coming across the westbound side of 270 right before you get to I-25. So from the camera there at I-76, you can see the flashing lights in the distance. One lane is open, but it's light enough traffic where it's not bothered by it at all. That eastbound side, we'll start to see a little bit more traffic here this morning, but overall no delays on the drive times right now, and most of the overnight construction was put on hold because of all the wet weather we had last night.
Well, for the first time today, we expect to see body camera video from last month's controversial police shooting in Lodo. Police injured 6 innocent bystanders after firing into a crowd as the bars were closing. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live because police have maintained they shot at a man who flashed a gun at them first.
And since that shooting happened here at 20th and Larimer a month ago, community members have been pushing police for answers as to why they shot into that crowd of people when they were going after the suspect, Jordan Waddy. 6 innocent bystanders suffered various injuries, including a man who had a bullet lodged in his arm. And up until now, we've only seen a still frame photo of what police say is Waddy flashing a gun at them, though there's no evidence he ever fired it. We've also seen a picture of a 10mm handgun police say they found at the scene. Under Colorado law, audio and footage of an incident has to be released within 21 days of a request when there is a misconduct complaint. Today is that deadline. The case is also in the hands of the Citizen Oversight Board, and they'll review whether Denver officers responded appropriately. They'll look at failures in training, protocol, and cultural issues. And last week, board members told us that they're closely tracking this incident, but the speed of these investigations is slow, which can be frustrating.
I think that's the most unfortunate condition of police accountabilities that can often be very slow, in particular because now there's a criminal investigation because people were shot. That makes it even slower, right? We've got outside parties in the DA's office and the Colorado State Patrol conducting an external investigation. And while I'm sure they are eager to get to the outcomes as quickly as possible,
the board is closely reviewing the case, but they say that in a way their hands are tied until the investigation into whether police acted lawfully is complete. Live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. There will be increased security at a Greeley high school today after one student stabbed another student. This happened at Jefferson High School yesterday as kids were headed to lunch in the hallway with a crowd of other students watching. Police say the student attacker will now face charges including first-degree assault.
I'm not really shocked because of all the violence we've had and because of what I've been hearing in schools and because of what we've been seeing there. But I am saddened that that our schools are not protected. Our students, the ones that really want to study, are not protected.
Denver 7 contacted Greeley police late Monday for more details on where the SRO was at the time of the incident, but we have not heard back.
A big national story we're following all day today. It's primary day for Wyoming, our neighbor to the north. And unless every poll is wrong, Congresswoman Liz Cheney will be ousted in the state's Republican primary. She was one of just 10 Republicans who voted to impeach former President Trump. So it's a victory for him and his followers. Here's ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi.
Today, former President Trump is expected to achieve his biggest political victory since losing the White House.
Liz, you're fired. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who voted in line with Trump roughly 93% of the time, now faces a likely defeat in the state's Republican primary. Cheney was just one of 10 Republicans in the House to vote for the former president's impeachment, and she's now a vice chair of the January 6th committee.
Donald Trump's plan to falsely claim victory in 2020, no matter what the facts actually were, was premeditated.
On the eve of the election, many Republicans in Wyoming branded her a traitor.
There was a time that I told her that I would vote for her for president. I rescind that with a vengeance.
Some Democrats in Wyoming have switched their party registration to vote for Cheney, a last-ditch effort to keep her in office. But it's unlikely to be enough to overcome her opponent, Harriet Hageman, who most polls have winning by more than a 20-point margin.
This isn't just about voting against Liz Cheney. Wyoming will finally have a representative that is from Wyoming, understands Wyoming, has been fighting for Wyoming.
In June, Cheney telling ABC's Jonathan Karl this about the prospect of losing her primary.
I think that the single most important thing is protecting the nation from Donald Trump. And I think that matters to us as Americans more than anything else.
Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
And Coloradans are paying attention to this race. They've contributed quite a bit of money to Liz Cheney's campaign. The Colorado Sun reports about 400 Coloradans donated more than $363,000 to her through the end of last month. About 140 Coloradans donated to her opponent.
Well, back to work for the Denver Broncos as they get ready to take on the Bills Saturday in Buffalo for their second preseason game.
Obviously, a lot of people still feeling good about the first win on Saturday against the Cowboys. But this is also getting some discussion here. Now, Russell Wilson didn't play. Didn't play on Saturday, but people are talking about his emotions. Take a look here. This video was taken during the national anthem. So what do you think? Is it sweat rolling down his face, or is that a tear coming out of the corner of his eye? It's a debate that our sports anchor Lionel Bienvenu kind of started on social media, and most of the responses said that it's a tear. But
there's sweat on his forehead,
right?
But emotionally, he kind of looks like he's He's wrapped up in the emotions of a first game
Yeah,
in the orange and blue.
maybe.
Maybe it was overwhelming for him.
But it was hot on Saturday, too.
Yeah, it was like 90 degrees.
So he might have been sweating, Lisa. I don't know. What do you think?
I think his forehead was crying. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It looks like a tear to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Eyes. Can we call him? Can we ask him? I feel like we could
He's
solve
an
this.
emotional guy,
We're going to
I
need
guess.
confirmation, yeah.
It's going to be, well, some good looking weather. If you're outside today and your head's wet, you might look like you're crying too. We've got another chance for some storms and showers here this afternoon. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy this morning. We'll see a little sun work in, low to mid 60s. It's going to be chilly at the bus stop this afternoon, mid 70s. More scattered storms and showers are possible today, but the risk of flooding, Jason, a lot lower for us, which is good. Yesterday was a mess out there.
Yeah, your car is crying right now because it's getting all that road
Yeah.
goop all over it, right? So you have to wash it in the next couple of days. Right now, you're looking at mostly, though, dry roads here in Boulder, up at Canyon and Broadway. We're all open after, unfortunately, a person was hit crossing one of the crosswalks over there on Canyon, right here, just between here and 9th. So the drive around town looks overall pretty good, but we'll take a look at some of those wet conditions for you coming up.
Well, are you a no-vid? One of those lucky people who still haven't caught COVID. What doctors think might have protected these highly immune people from the virus.
Also, you've probably heard of Wordle. Nicole,
Oh,
you play
obsessed.
it. Yeah, you've got the kids involved too. There is now a Colorado version of Wordle.